Hi friends, let's take a look at Link. Link versus the Bitcoin, Link versus the dollar coin. Really want to say big thank you to everybody for watching these episodes. I really do appreciate every single last one of you. And if you wouldn't mind diving over and taking a look at the Bitcoin episode. Whoops. If you wouldn't mind diving over and taking a look at the Bitcoin episode, I would really appreciate that. And I'll tell you for why. The views that we get on those episodes are really quite minimal. Looking here at Bitcoin, you see it's all less than 100 almost all of the time. There was a few abhorrent instances of getting above 100, but for months and months and months, I'm actually surprised when I get more than 50 views on one of those videos. So I know there's plenty of people watching the Link one. If you did do that, it would help the channel grow an awful lot. I'd appreciate it if you did that. And of course, it's me. We get to interact more, kind of. It's good stuff. So anyway, where are we? And we can see that the Link price in Bitcoins here has had a nice resurgence towards the top side over the last couple of days. Looking at so far in terms of movements up the way, 30% almost moved towards the top side, and finding resistance here at this median line of the parallel channel, in there at 92k. And that's a significant area for us for a number of reasons. Not the least of which be, pardon me if I could speak properly. Not the least of which being that right here at 93,564 Satoshis, we see, or whatever this is, we see that there's a 236 here. And if we go above this 236, I think that things could be fairly positive for the price action, but we'd have a couple of things to do yet still as well. Okay, so first off, this is the next step. If we get past this, this is the next step at 100k. We've got a couple of things coming in here. One is the upper side of this fallen wedge here, which is a bullish pattern, of course, the upper side there of that thing. We also have the yellow 21 EMA here coming in. If I hide all the drawings, you'll see that a lot easier. And of course, the 55 EMA, which have crossed towards the downside here in the 24-hour time frame, which is a negative thing in and of itself. Testing these things would be, predictable in a sense after this cross. It would be interesting to see how they interact around this area. Of course, then moving past them could quickly uncross those or cross them again towards the top side, whatever language you want to use. And of course, the next line, the lower warning line of the pitchfork that we had on the go, which was so nice in terms of telling us where the price action was heading over the last wee while, and these extensions of that pitchfork we've been using as well to determine the price action. So, right now we have the median line of this parallel channel, which is in the background as an extension of the pitchfork that we find ourselves right in at the minute in this sort of no man's land, pushing up against the 236. Can we get past it and move up towards the top end of the wedge? If we can, we might be able to initiate a couple of different measured moves with a full whackadackles of this thing taking up towards the upper line of the pitchfork in there at 141,000, but perhaps, a little bit less sort of greedy in terms of this movement. Could be looking towards the 618 golden pocket zone, 128 to 131,000 in terms of movements towards the top side. Now, as well, we have to remember that there could be sort of a failure of the movement. This has been a downward trend now for the last wee while, since over there in the middle of August. So we're talking over a month, of course. So if this did sort of find that it got a resistance in any area, the 50% Fibonacci zone in here and the 50 simple moving average right in here where I'm circling will be a key area for us. Okay, of course that comes in at the lower line of the pitchfork, and there'll be sort of potential for flux in around those areas. Sure, there would be as well, even on the way towards doing the full measured move. Let's dive on over to the Link versus dollar pairing, because that's what we're looking at. Of course, before we're tuning away, let's see if we can have the prices maintain themselves above this line here at 85,000. If they don't, we could be looking down to let's call it two targets down below of 78,000 and then 71,000, and then movements outside of that could be going into this area where we have fake out territory, as I've already identified, the 200 simple moving average in there, this white dotted line coming along, and these two measured moves towards the downside should things push on past that area. Of course, we have the 886, which we got supported at already as well, and that's what we're looking at. Can we take out that lower low if we're looking to be bearish on this thing? Can we take out these this lower high in this area here if we want to get bullish on this thing, right? That's pretty damn good technical analysis. By the way, the technical analysis for Bitcoin is at least as good as this, if not better. And keeping your finger on the pulse of the market really requires you to look at Bitcoin. So why not take a look at that video that I've been kind of pushing so far. So right here in terms of this one, this is drawn on sloppily. Always remind people this. There is always the scope for kind of just, slightly negotiating with where we've got this laid out at currently. We haven't quite fully broken it just yet. I would hesitate to say so. As we see it flicking, the price action flicking between a red and a green doji candle currently as we speak. So the thing to look out for, of course, is going to be considered that $10 area. So it can say that yes, we're starting to break out of this, but we do have sort of fake out territory to look out for in around this zone here. Looking up towards $11. Of course, that's a great profit taking target, even just from moves from where we are now up towards these higher targets up there. It's looking at, a 20% movement up in price or 15% or wherever. Easy to manage your risk around this zone. Could easily flip over and turn bearish on it and look for a move potentially down towards the lower end of this, or perhaps just towards the 236, giving you 20% moves either way. Trading this thing right now is like, shooting fish in a barrel, especially with me doing your technical analysis kind of for you. Really. All right. Okay. I have to pull back on that. As I put a little bit of bite cream on my finger. I've got a bite on my finger. It's really, really, really frustrating me. I have to pull back on that. I've been giving away far too much. I talk about teach a man to fish, and he'll fish all the time. He'll wage war against fishes. He'll actually, take it to the fish. Instead of having to defend his family against the fish, he'll be able to mount his own attack against the fish. And that's what I want to help you do, is to really take that war into your own hands, and put humanity's case at the front of the line. But if I continue doing what I'm doing, then perhaps really what I'm doing is delivering you a fish dinner every night and enabling you to not actually, think for yourselves, And my main goal here as a YouTuber, let's say, is to give people, is to really make a positive change in the world, right? And if you've been watching along for the last wee while, then you know that I've been, the technical analysis we do here on the channel is second to none. Really is. I challenge anybody to find something better. I'd happily watch it. You can go and join the Discord and leave it in the other YouTube channels thing, because I'm not a YouTube monogamist. It's all good. Really challenge anybody say that they found anything that even compares, is even close to this level of technical analysis. What am I going on about? Why am I talking about myself? Oh yeah, but my goal is to actually enable you to become self-reliant, independent, consistently profitable traders with a degree of resilience there, so that you know what you're doing is the right thing to be doing. And the way to do that, I think, is to leave a little bit of a room between me telling you exactly where things are going to go and you being able to sort of fill in that last 10%. Unfortunately, I've not really been doing that recently, and instead I've just been giving it to you sort of painting by numbers style, and that's maybe not to your benefit as a trader. However, it should be to your benefit as from your account. We did call the top in here, did call the bottom in here. When did we do that? Well, we called the top when the prices were over here. We called it up to there, big profit for everybody, even who was really late to the party. And then we called the bottom up here, right? The day of this, we said, oh, this is where we're going to probably next. So we've done all of that. So we're like, I feel like I've definitely sort of, met you halfway in terms of filling up your account with your trading account, in terms of, giving you some money to play with. Now maybe it's time that you learned for yourself. 2K subscribers within this month. Is it possible? I wonder. And yeah, that's cool. We're going to have to I'm going to move on to do Ethereum in a second as well. Actually look at Ethereum. Just going to take away all the drawings off of here. Just have a quick look here at this. Not got the bullish divergence you'd want to see on here. We did have this wedge as visible by the MACD. We've got a negative stance on the DMI that did have a bit of bullish divergence on it. So bullish divergence there and there. Not on the Stochastics, as you can see, and not on the RSI. So it's kind of like 2 against 2. But we don't have what we could have been looking for is like hidden bearish divergence. And we don't really have that just coming in with this high just here, or the previous highs as well. So there's not that hidden bearish divergence to look out for. So, combining this with the wedge and the key targets up above, then we could have some good positive price action. Of course, failure to do all of that could result in just more of the same. And indeed, a failed rising wedge rapidly becomes a parallel channel towards the downside, in which case I know all the drawings will come back on here. I'm just going to do this real quick anyway, as you can see yourself what this would be like, which is why I'm hesitant to say that we're not just kind of in fake out territory in and around that zone currently, anywhere, as you see here as I position this, anywhere up towards where I've got fake out territory drawn on with that green box triangle effort above the price action in where I'm shaking the mouse around in there right now, lines up perfectly with that as a parallel channel. So you get it. You're hitting home runs as a trader. You're going to be a really good trader soon. Look at this. Wow, bang, bang, bong, done a 50% retracement. That's satisfactory in terms of if you want to start seeing the prices going down the way. We have got an upward slope on the EMA here on the RSI, and we've not gone past any swing points yet. There's still potential for that. Let's draw in a horizontal for us so we can look at this again come Monday and see if the prices have managed to achieve pushing past that zone. As you can see that we clearly haven't done quite yet. We could go up past it, of course, and then ask the question at the neutral line, come back down and retest it as well. Something to be looking out for in your own trading. And moving on as well, you could do that same trick there in terms of all of the other oscillators down below and whatnot. Now, what we do have here on this one is that we move past what you could call a swing point there, moving out of the bearish control zone, and we've now gone up towards this next area where, of course, we've got another one on the go quite clearly as well, right in this area, where we can see this turnaround here, this inflection here, and where we are currently as well. Pushing past this area, same scenario as what I just spoke about over there on the dollar pairing. But of course, this is looking pretty good so far. There was no bullish divergence between these two lows here on the way down the way, apart from on the MACD. And the Stochastics just there at the end, the tail end of that there's a tiny little bit, but that's a little bit weak in terms of the price action, not really having local highs along the way to kind of really sort of underline that. It's a bit of a stretch, really, to say that. And we still have this positioned up above 20, the ADX, but it's dropped down. It got to 25, didn't really lock in that trend, locking it in at 25 and above, really, in terms of this thing. And we haven't really done that. And instead, we're moving back down the way. We're still above 20, which is the key, I suppose, for us. And just smiling at people at the window. And what we have here is a sort of convergence between these two. If this were to cross over, we could see this kind of turn itself around. And what we would be looking to then, of course, is taking out the 382 Fibonacci in there at 0.029 and looking up towards 0.036 thereafter. Already had colossal gains to be had here. All these drawings that we have on the chart and everything else kind of coming in there and showing you what we've already been talking about. If you're just new to the channel, by the way, subscribe. A lot of value here, but obviously you've already known about all of this yourselves as good, jolly, fantastic people. And if we sort of look at this from a broader perspective, go up to the 2-day to make it easier, you can see low, higher, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low so far over here. So, things could go fantastic for this coin. They could go fantastic, really. And the same thing applies over here as well. Blah, 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 blah. They could go fantastic and look past beyond that 20 if we were to go up towards these other higher targets thereafter, but it all kind of comes down to whether or not we're able to maintain the price action above this key inflection area really there that we're talking about in around about that $7 to $8 area, $7.50 or so, whatever, that we've been talking about for the longest time, well, since over here, really. And in fact, we're talking about it on the way up, the way to, let's be honest. That's it. Cool. Okay, that'll do for today. Thanks so much for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. A few things just before I go away. Of course, can we get to that 2,000 subscriber mark? Wouldn't it be awesome? You can take part in a Bitcoin giveaway. That'd be cool if you did. And because, that'd be cool if you did. If you want to, leave comments down below. I'm going to be doing it anyways. Just helps the channel grow with the comments. To do so, you just write a comment saying, Rocky, you rock. You can do it on this video and all of the videos in the past. It's all good for September. And I want to give a shout out to Yunji. Let me just play this again. Inji. Go on, say it. Takes a while. Say it.
Inji.
Inji. Hi, Inji. You've been chatting on the comments down below. I think the Korean language is super alien to me. I can't understand what this says just looking at it. As you'll know, probably having learned English and probably wondering what these symbols mean whenever you started out. It's just brilliant. I love that there's a global audience here. So I decided to give you a shout out specifically on the channel and to say your name, Inji. Hi, thanks so much. And what else do I want to do? I remind people, watch the Bitcoin episode, help the channel out, help a brother out. Okay, catch you next time. Thanks so much, and I'll see you again on Monday. Good trading over the weekend.